I got more faith just based on what I seen last night. When you got Nathaniel Hackett doing some of the things that did in the game, makes me scratch my head. And I know it was on the road, hostile environment, 12th man, all of those sort of things. I get it. I just don't have a whole lot of faith in what they're doing opposed to what the Raiders could potentially do for the third spot.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal because, listen, here's the bottom line. You're right that Derek Carr did look awful, and even though we're not going to belabor that point, we're not going to belabor, damn it happened, okay? And the fact that it happened with Josh McDaniel as your new coach also resonates with me because this is a guy that's not only been a head coach before, but he's been, obviously, the offensive coordinator under Bill Belichick for all of these years, kind of knows a thing or two about what he was doing. I expected them to be on the same page a little bit more than they appeared to be this past weekend, but at the end of the day, do I have confident that they can overcome some of their doldrums? Sure, I can. In the case of the Seattle Seahawks and the Denver Broncos lost to Seattle. Let's call it what it is, Mina. I mean, outside of you, I don't know people who are expecting much from the Seattle Seahawks this season. I don't think anybody but you is expecting anything from them. So it was really nice to see, and I'm not going to sleep on them in the fact that, listen, I'm rooting for Geno Smith. I ain't rooting against them. But rooting for somebody is one thing. Expecting them to do it is another.
I expect for Seattle, much like Pete Carroll, to win 9 to 10 games, man.
9 to 10 games?
I honestly do.
Really?
I honestly do.
Is that by default because of what the NFC West looks like with Arizona, San Francisco, and the Rams?
A little bit of both. I subscribe to the philosophy much like Pete. We're going to run the football. We're going to play defense. And all I need my quarterback to do is not screw it up. You go back to the early, and Mina knows this because she's a Seahawks fan. You go back to the early stages of Russell Wilson. And I know this day and age, people think the game has changed. And they're not doing it that way. That's not true. I don't care what the analytics say. You line up, you punch them in the mouth, you move forward, you play defense, much like the Seahawks did at the goal line. You say, well, yeah, they should have been scoring. They were on the 2-yard line. Not if the defense is stout. Not if they punched the ball out. I don't care what anybody say. They did what they were supposed to do.
That's really not what happened in this game, though. I mean, in the first half, Geno Smith had a lot of success with the quick game, moving the ball through the air. They weren't really leaning on the run that heavily. So I actually think this offense is going to look a bit different.
Ran the hell out of the football.
They looked great. I'm just saying, you're talking about a ground and pound offense. That's really just not what it was. I think with Shane Waldron, who's their offensive coordinator, coming from the Rams, you saw him finally getting to run the offense that he wants. That under center play action, the ball going to the tight ends, who they used a great deal in the first half with great success, and targeting the middle of the field on quick passes. None of that happened with Russell Wilson. It's just a very different offense. It's not going to be as explosive. But I think what we saw from Geno Smith is it can be efficient when he is not pressured. He can be accurate. I think he proved a lot of doubters wrong with his performance last night, particularly in the first half.
But let me ask you this, though, Mina. What's different than early stages of Russell Wilson with this offense? They ran the ball efficiently. He didn't turn it over. He dinked and dunked. Yeah, he might have put it across the middle of the field a couple times, but he didn't put him in harm's way. Early Russell Wilson never put the Seahawks in harm's way until he threw the interception in the Super Bowl. Well, that's how they got there. That's how they got there.
He also didn't dink and dunk. He's always been one of the most explosive deep passers in the NFL, dating back to when he entered the league. It's just different. I'm not disagreeing with you.
And they may get on that page with DK, because I wanted to see DK go deep, but, who knows?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.